Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the show where keeping it real goes right. We're back here at Real Take Sports Talk. It's your boy Johnny G, back from the dead. I'm on that law school grind, but I'm back to bring you the realest takes you can find. I'm joined today by Omer
Hey, what's up, guys?
and Trenzy.
What's up?
No Andrew today. We'll miss you, buddy. Stay on your grind. We got a great show planned for y'all today. We got some basketball, some baseball, some football content on the docket. But first, we go hit up that Week 17 NFL season. We got lots of playoff spots to grab. Of course, make sure y'all like and subscribe. If you like what you hear today, hit us up at patreon.com/real take sports talk. All right, boys, let's get right into it. We got NFL Week 17. We got the NFC and the AFC with lots of spots available. A couple of teams have already clinched their spots. The Kansas City Chiefs are sitting pretty at 14-1, the only team to clinch their bye. The Buffalo Bills and the Pittsburgh Steelers looking to jockey for position at the top of that, and the AFC as well. In the NFC, right now, there's a fight for the number one seed, but it's looking good for the Green Bay Packers. The New Orleans Saints and the Seattle Seahawks coming from behind them as well, looking to try to get to that number one spot, but more likely at 2-3. And Tom Brady's Tampa Bay Buccaneers sitting at the number one wild card spot. Still, lots of football to go, guys. Who's our most interesting available spot? Andrew's not here. We would start with the NFC South. But Trezzy, what you got? We're not going to do that. Trenzy, what you got? Who's the most interesting team out there who's yet to clinch a playoff spot?
You know what? I think it's the Cowboys. I honestly think that the Cowboys are going to make the playoffs this year. I honestly think the Cowboys are going to make the playoffs this year, and here's why. The Redskins just got rid of Dwayne Haskins. Not like he was doing anything anyway, but that team is probably going to lose to the Eagles. I'm hoping they lose to the Eagles. My uncle's an Eagles fan. I need that game to happen. He's been real down during the, COVID. That's my pick. What about you, Omer? What's your pick for this year?
Man, you already know where I'm going with this. Y'all already know where I'm going with this. You know the Ravens make the playoffs. It's not even a doubt, bro. We got the Bengals this week. The Bengals, if we don't beat the Bengals, we don't deserve to make the playoffs. Granted, I'll take it if we make the playoffs somehow. But, nah, the Bengals from the NFC, though, I'm telling y'all sleeping? Don't sleep on these Washington football teams. Don't sleep on the Washington football team. That's a team, I'm telling you, if they're at max health, if they have Alex Smith, if they have that defense rolling in the way that, you know they're going to be rolling, that's a team that can make a lot of damage in the playoffs. Not a lot. Okay, I should have stopped myself there. They can win a game. They can win a game. That's a dangerous team is what I'm trying to say. That's a team that can come in there.
Win a game.
I think how about this? I'll bet you right now, we're live on the YouTube world. I bet you right now, Johnny, $20 says the Washington football team, if they get in, wins the playoff game.
Okay, just so everybody knows, that's the 4-5 matchup. So that's going to be Washington at home against Brady's Buccaneers. You still want to make that bet?
Got it. They got it. The number one thing, if you want to get to Tom Brady, the number one thing has always been consistently throughout his career, if you can establish a pass rush, if you can get him rattled in the pocket, if you can get him outside the pocket, that's the number one thing in order to stop Tom Brady and hinder him. I do think that that's an ideal matchup if you're Washington, because what had Tom Brady shown against even bad teams like the Chicago Bears? What were they able to do against him, Johnny? They were able to establish a pass rush. Whenever a team, Saints, when they steamrolled them like 37-3 in that Sunday night matchup, same thing happened. So they have a pass rush with Chase Young and those guys up front, and the back end of that defense as of late has been playing pretty well. And I'm telling you, if Alex Smith can be who he is at this point in his career, be one of the greatest game managers we've ever seen, he has a chance. Alex Smith has a chance to actually, I think, pull the upset in this. And it's going to be crazy because we'll talk about it later, but that NFC East is going to be a shit show because we're going to have a 7-9 team potentially a 6-10 team going to the playoffs. But
Yes,
we'll
sir.
get to that.
Sir. That's going to be my interesting team. I also highlighted that Buccaneers matchup because my New York Football Giants will be in that game, and there will be playoffs. The first 10-loss team to make it to the NFL playoffs going to be my New York Giants.
The Giants play the Cowboys, right?
Yeah, so
it's not the
wins.
Eagles. My bad, sports world. My bad, Real Talk Nation. I meant to say that the Cowboys will play the Giants and bust their ass, and they're going to the playoffs. They're going to the playoffs. Who do you guys have?
Well, why don't we start with
everybody.
Why don't we start with the AFC? Well, let's take a look at the AFC real quick, Johnny. Let's do that.
All right, let's get to the AFC. So as I mentioned, the Chiefs clinched the number 1 seed. They'll have the only bye. So just to run through this real quick, y'all, in case y'all forgot, the NFL changed their playoff formatting to add a 7th wild card or a 3rd wild card spot, so a 7th team. So that means that only the number 1 seed, so not the first 2, only the number 1 seed, gonna get a bye in that first week. So you're gonna see the Kansas City Chiefs at 14-1 at this moment. They will get that bye in the AFC. Behind them is the Buffalo Bills and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Both of them clinched their division. I'm sure all y'all caught Juju and his TikToks. We'll see if he'll be doing some more logo dances in the playoffs. Probably not, though, unless he's looking to get smacked. Then we see that in the AFC South, it's a 2-team race with the Tennessee Titans and the Indianapolis Colts tied at 10-5. The Titans hold the tiebreaker. So if they win, they are in. They are the champs of the AFC South. If they lose, they got a good shot at still making the playoffs, but they're going to need some help to make sure that they sneak into one of those 3 wildcard spots. Behind them in the wildcard hunt are the Dolphins, the Ravens, the Browns, and the Colts. So it's 4 teams there looking to make 3 spots. Let's keep in mind that the Browns, after taking a big fat L to the New York Jets last week, are still dealing with their COVID issues. We'll see of their receiving core who is going to be back next week. The Ravens, after a few weeks of being in COVID hell, are finally in full strength and ready to get moving after beating up on my Giants. So it's a sad, sad day. Omer got the bragging rights on that one. But they are rolling, and they're looking to make it in. You got the Miami Dolphins with I was watching that game last week. I don't know if y'all caught that live.
But
that
magic.
I don't even have words.
Fitz magic. That's the only thing you can say. I was watching that, and I talked about it on a different stream, but I just remember it's first down. All right, for the start of the new drive. There's like 20 seconds left in this game. I'm like, all right. Can Fitzmagic do it? Yeah, but that would take a total collapse by this defense. And the Oakland Raiders defense, you would have thought that they would have learned by now. They were on the other end of this like just 2 weeks ago with one of the worst football teams that's ever fielded on an NFL
Jets.
field. The goddamn Jets, as Big Daddy would call it. Big shout out to Adam Sandler, by the way. All right, so you have that. You have that team that knows what's at stake too. They're playing for their playoff lives too, and you're playing zone, right? There's no running back. So there's no way a running back is going to be coming out of the flat. But the way the cornerback played it, he played it as if a running back was coming out of the flat, and so he let his safety take care of the wide receiver. But the safety knew there was no running back there, so he was like, all right, the corner's got this underneath. If he needs help up top, I have him. But the corner, he was playing low when he should have been playing high, and then it created a very open safety net for Fitzmagic, even while getting his entire face torn off of him to throw the ball. So you have that. I really don't know. I really don't get how that happened. I obviously just explained how it happened. I just don't get how you let that happen. And unfortunately for this, John Gruden won't be fired, but I will say this. Going back to the playoff picture, which is a mess if you look at it, like all those scenarios. By the way, the scenarios that we've thrown up on there, I just want everyone to know, these are like the easy scenarios. This is not including all of the, all the ties and shit. Like the only reason I included the ties were for the Colts because that was the longest one anyway. But no, basically,
squint to get to that one.
Yeah, basically though, in case you guys don't know, Dolphins, Ravens, Browns, it's easy. You win and you're in. Indianapolis needs some help. They need a win and one of those three teams to lose, or they need a win and they need Tennessee to lose. And if in that case, if they win and Tennessee loses, then that means that Tennessee will likely miss out on the playoffs. And
Which we want.
Which we want. We want it. The 3/4 of a majority of the Real Take Sports Talk board wants that team not to be in the playoffs. But now that I think about it, now only half of them want that team not to be in the playoffs because I cannot imagine the whining that's going to happen when they don't make the playoffs. Jesus.
I'll take it. There's a great button on my phone called decline, and there's a great setting on my AirPods called noise cancellation.
Facts. All right, but in all seriousness, the Colts need help. They potentially can still win their division and host a playoff game, but they need to win. They need to take care of business first. And just looking at what we have, looking at some of the matchups too that's going to happen, it's going to be interesting because these aren't easy matchups for all of these teams. Miami, I'll pull it up right now. Miami has to face the Buffalo Bills. The Ravens, they have a relatively easy matchup, but that Bengals team, they're no joke. They beat the Steelers just 2 weeks ago, so that's a team that's a trap game that could be commencing. You have the Browns taking on the Steelers, who are benching their starters, but still, it's the Browns. I've learned through my many years of being an AFC North fan to not trust the Browns. And you got the Colts taking on the Jaguars. The Jaguars obviously have secured the number 1 pick. Should be easy pickings. Titans, of course, it's not up there, but they are facing the Houston Texans. And Deshaun Watson has stated that he wants to play in that game, so it's looking like he's going to play. So they're going to have to try to win that game, and if they don't, they could be missing out in the playoffs. But
on that game, real quick, I don't know if y'all caught J.J. Watt and his press conference the other day, but he did a real inspiring conversation. If y'all want to go take a look at that, go search up J.J. Watt. He did a real inspiring talk about what it means to be an NFL player and what it means to be in the league, and that it's not about the money, and that it's not about the clout, and it's not about the girls, but it's about showing up every day and doing your job for the people who root for you, for the people who love your team, for the people who want to see you succeed. So that's a big thing. They should be up for that game. Deshaun Watson, second in the league in passing yards, even without DeAndre Hopkins. So watch out. Those Texans, 4-11, but they're a little frisky. Yeah.
Facts.
So do we want to hop on over to the NFC?
Sure, if you want to. I mean, Simon, wait, how about this? Who do you guys think is going to win, though? Who's in? Let's finalize this AFC playoff picture real quick. Who's in?
Who's in?
Yeah, who's in?
We just going off the top from that race?
Dude, hey,
yeah.
From that race.
I'm going to be real with you, Omer. I do not want to see the Ravens in, but you know what? That's what I'll give you for Christmas. Your team could be
What do you mean you give me for Christmas? My team's going to give it to me for Christmas.
For your team to win. But honestly, dude, to be honest with you, I want to see the Browns in. It's been a long time for that city and that town that's been deprived of all types of winning since LeBron left. Another sport, but they need to win something. And I know you did not just go get Jarvis Landry, Odell, and Baker and have nothing to show for it in the last 3 years. I know that did not happen.
I know that definitely did happen. It happened last year, and it's likely going to happen this year because who are they facing?
Baker Mayfield, that boy's been a man on a mission.
Has he really? Has he really been a man on the mission? Has he really? Not really. Not really.
Hey,
he just lost to the worst team in football.
Season, what would you give him? Because that team only goes as far
B-.
as
Yeah, you got a B-.
Only goes as far as he takes him. What do you put him on the season right now? Out of a Trenzy GPA, the highest.
Wow, that's weighted pretty low. But no. Baker's had a good season. But the issue is it just doesn't just come down to him. It comes down to other factors as well. Comes down to that defense playing up to what people expect them to be. It comes down to his receivers actually being available to play games. Right now, we don't know if most of his receivers are going to be back yet. So if he doesn't have Jarvis Landry, if he doesn't have Peoples-Jones, if he doesn't have those guys to throw the ball to, and he has to rely on the pass or the run game against that Steelers defense, who they're still like I think a lot of players in that defense are going to end up still playing, but it's going to be difficult. It's not going to be easy, and I know the Browns. Simon, you're a Steelers fan. You know them too. Every single time they've had it, this is a team that went 10-6 once. They were like I think 15 years ago they went 10-6 and they missed the playoffs. I'm telling you, if there's any team that's out there, there's going to be one team that's going to go 10-6 in the AFC and miss the playoffs in a 7-team playoff. That team would be the Browns. It's so fitting. It's just so fitting for everything that organization has done. The ineptitude of that organization. Baker Mayfield, making a huge big deal out of every single thing, but then having really nothing to prove for it, to show for it. I just don't see it happening. I think Indianapolis is going to take care of business against the Jaguars. I think the Ravens obviously going to take care of business against the Bengals. Miami, the Bills are probably going to rest their starters, so they're probably going to take care of that.
The Bills are still playing for something.
Though, Omer,
the Bills are still playing for something.
The only one that thinks your team is going to win is you, Omer. The spread is 13. I put my money with Vegas on the Bengals.
Wait, what?
Plus 13. Bengals.
Wild end.
I really hope you didn't. I really hope you didn't bet a lot of money on there.
I really did. And the first 5 people to like and comment, I will send them $5 upon the Bengals winning. The first 5 people to like and comment and share, I will send $5. Who wants to make some money with their broke ass? Come on, let's do it. Come on, people.
All right, commenters, you heard him. It's live. It's recorded. He can't hide from that.
Can't hide from it. Matter of fact, first 10 people. Let's do it like that. The first person who subscribes from this will get $100.
$100. All right, well, get subscribing. Maybe I'm gonna hit that subscribe button real quick.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah. Yo, let's take a break 1 second. We got some fan questions here. We got my boy Cruel Intentions. You think the Finns will get into the playoffs? All right, everyone go. Finns getting into the playoffs? Yes or no?
No.
Yes.
I love my Dolphins. I got a lot of Dolphins fans. Shout out to FIU College of Law. But it's a tough road ahead. The Bills are playing for something. You barely eked out a magical win because Fitzmagic pulled some shit out his beard. And the Bills are a real team. Like the Raiders are the Raiders. The Bills are a real team that wants that 2 seed. It's not going to be a blowout or anything, but that's a tough win for the Dolphins. The Colts got to take care of business against the Jags.
Word. So another question from Cruel Intentions. Bills beat the Finns. I mean, yeah, we already answered that kind of. But yeah, sorry, Cruel Intentions. We just saw your comments. We've been doing other stuff. But yeah, no, keep commenting, keep asking us questions. We'll answer them throughout the time. But yeah, yeah. So what are the 3 teams you guys got in? Let's finalize this. Johnny, go.
I'm going whatever order the seating works out. Ravens, Colts, and what's the third team here? Ravens, Colts, and
Cleveland. You have Cleveland.
Yeah.
All right.
Ravens, Colts, and Cleveland.
Simon.
Browns. I said no to the Finns. I'll put the Ravens in, and I'll put the Colts in.
Word. And yeah, y'all agree on this. I don't agree with y'all. I think y'all
they will lose to the Bengals, though.
No, they're okay. I'll bet you 50 on that, but no, it's gonna be.
If they lose to the Bengals, the tiebreaker has the Dolphins in.
The Dolphins are gonna make it, yeah. So I don't know how that makes sense, but I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say Dolphins, Ravens, Colts are gonna get in, and the Browns again are gonna be missing out in the playoffs. And that's just how it is.
Last year, Omer. Last year, though, 27 seconds. Actually, less than that. I think it was like 19 seconds. Explain that last year, Omer.
What the fuck are you talking about? I don't
Not
even,
last year. Was it last year?
About? 2
years ago, maybe. I think 2 years.
Oh my God! You're talking about 3 years ago. You're talking about 3 years ago. You're talking about 3 years ago.
This is not a year.
Are you serious, dog? All right. 3 years ago, we lost. Yeah, okay. We lost, week 17. We lost to the Bengals when we had a chance to get in the playoffs. And then what happened the next year, though? We beat the Browns to get into the playoffs. So I'm telling you, all those ghosts are gone. This is going to be a relatively easy game to win, all right? And I'm telling you, there's going to be no team more motivated. There's going to be no quarterback more motivated in week 17 than Lamar Jackson. Bet.
Yeah,
Take it to the bank.
We'll see.
We'll have to see.
All right.
Let's hop on over to the NFC. As I mentioned earlier, the Packers are the number 1 seed at 12-3. They can clinch their bye with a win. If they win, all they got to do is get a Seattle loss, and they clinch that spot at 12-3. Anyway, you got the Saints at 11-4. They lost the head-to-head to Green Bay. So that means that for them to be the number 1 seed, there's got to be a 3-way tie. So they're going to need the Seahawks to win. And then, because they got the best interdivision record, they would be the number 1 seed. And then the Seahawks playing San Francisco at 11-4. If they win and the Packers lose, so regardless of what the Saints do, if they win and the Packers lose, then they'll be the number 1 seed. So you see that and that. The Buccaneers, they clinched, which means that in the hunt, you got the Rams, the Bears, and the Cardinals for 2 wild card spots. And then, of course, we'll do the NFC East at the end. So, boys, what we think? What's that wild card going to look out? Who's making that bye week? What are thoughts, Omer?
Well, if you turn your attention to our wonderful graphic that we have here are the playoff scenarios for those wildcard teams. Rams get in with a win or a Chicago loss. Chicago, obviously, they need to win. There's a scenario if Arizona loses that they get in, but it's basically all going to come down to that game against the Rams and the Cardinals. That's the winner of that game is going to get into the playoffs. So that's what it's all going to come down to at the end of the day. It's going to dictate a lot of what Chicago does. If they win, it's going to dictate who gets snubbed, because Tampa Bay's already got that 1 seed. They're only playing for 2 here. They're only playing for 2 spots in the NFC. So, but I just think, we'll get to who gets in and that kind of stuff later. But the what is so interesting to me is the Chicago Bears and where they've come from. They started the season 5-1, right? Mitch Trubisky came in, played. He was 3-1 as a starter. Then he got benched for Nick Foles. Nick Foles, they went on a 6-game losing streak, ended up 5-7. Everyone thought they were out, and now they're back in it. They're 8-7 now. They have a chance to go and have a winning season and potentially go back to the playoffs under Mitch Trubisky, who's come in and kind of led this rally of 3 straight to win to potentially get into the playoffs. But they're gonna have a tough outing. It's gonna be a tough outing for this team playing against the Packers, because the Packers, they're hitting on all cylinders. That team, even just playing the way they are, I just don't know if they're gonna have the firepower to compete. And it also hinges on whether or not they play their starters. So we don't know that yet. But yeah, again, that Rams-Cardinals game is going to dictate basically who gets 1 spot, and then loser that basically has to rely on Chicago to lose at Green Bay, which could be possible.
Yeah, I mean, Aaron Rodgers he barely tried last week. He's just dropping dimes right into receivers' laps.
Like Trace McSorley.
Yeah, like Trace McSorley. There you go, Mr. TikTok himself. So at the end of the day, it's kind of the same argument with the Dolphins. Is you got to beat a playoff team to make it to the playoffs. It's the playoffs start now for these 4, 5, 6, 7 teams that are looking to pick up these spots. The playoffs start now, and you got to win these games. You got to beat good teams to be a good team. So, are the Bears a good team? I got pundits and I got my boys from Chicago telling me about how Mitch Trubisky's good and how maybe they ought to keep their coach, and maybe they keep the brain trust in place. And I'm just like, y'all were ready to throw Matt Nagy off a damn bridge 5 weeks ago, and all of a sudden now he's okay, and all of a sudden now Trubisky's good. I don't know what Chicago is supposed to be doing, honestly. Trenzy, what are your thoughts?
I'm just going to keep it short and simple. Rams win, Bears win, Cardinals out. Fuck that dude. Fuck that. Cardinals. If it were, I just want the Bears in. To be honest with you,
Why?
Just because
They're Bears.
I mean, I don't know. They just sound stronger. I don't really watch the NFC because that's not where my team is. So we're just not over there. We're in the AFC. But
Fair.
I want the Bears to win. I want the Rams to win. I want the Cardinals out. Not their year this year. Anybody who wants to go against
like
me on
an
that?
Andrews boy, Kyler.
No, it's not that I don't like him. He's talented, very talented. It's just let's try baseball, son. Let's try baseball.
I don't know. He definitely made the right choice by going into the NFL. That was definitely the right choice.
No, he made a lot more money with the NFL. He could have made a lot of money with baseball, but he's gonna end up making a lot more money in the NFL. Those sponsorship, those sponsorship deals are gonna be they're gonna be out of this world. Yeah,
too insane.
Yeah, I think to answer your question, Trenzy, I think I'm looking at Bucks, Rams, Cardinals as the trio. It's tough sledding for the Bears. They really gave it their all. It was an impressive run to end the year, to go 3-0, to make it back to this point. But the Packers are moving, and they look like an unstoppable force. And I'm gonna tell you right now, the Bears are not an immovable object. So that's gonna be that.
Obviously, you have not paid attention to that Bears defense. Obviously, you have not paid attention to the center of that Bears defense, the core of that Bears defense being one Khalil Mack. All right, let me lay some knowledge on you, Johnny, because you apparently don't understand. You don't understand how this team is structured. You don't understand the way this team is meant to win. You don't get it. So I'm going to tell you right now. You going to let me finish, Tracy?
Just ad-lib.
Word.
Migos over here.
No, but for real. The Chicago Bears, you said it's the irresistible force in the Green Bay Packers. The Chicago Bears in this case are going to be the immovable object because they're not going to be hindered by, who's under center quarterback. It's potential that they're going to see, I don't even know who the Green Bay Packers backup is, but definitely not Aaron Rodgers, definitely not, Brett Favre or anyone in that category, right? It's not.
Maybe they'll get Matt Flynn.
Yeah. The king of Week 17 backup performances, Matt Flynn, had one game. He got paid one game because he threw for 500 yards. But look, in all seriousness, the Chicago Bears defense, I think, is going to do a number on whoever's under center at quarterback for the Green Bay Packers. Even if it's Aaron Rodgers, I think it's going to be a close game because these are two teams, divisional opponents. They play each other tough almost every single time they play each other, right? So look for that. Mitch, I used to call him the bitch Trubisky. If he wins this week, that name will be stripped from his title. He will be Mitch, I'm not a bitch Trubisky from now on because this guy, Mitch Trubisky, we threw a lot of shit at him. Everyone in the NFL threw a lot of shade at him. Everyone threw everything at him, saying he was a bust, saying he wasn't worth a first-round pick, saying he's not a starting quarterback. But this year, the dude is actually playing pretty good. He's got way more touchdowns than interceptions. His completion percentage is above 60 right now. He's doing a lot of good things with his legs, and he's able to really help that team. The only question for the Bears moving forward is, are you going to pay him like he's your starting quarterback? That's the only question, and that might end up being a no. But I do think he's done enough to warrant somebody paying him. Now, I'm not saying paying him to start.
But what are you paying him?
That's the thing. Here's the thing. It depends on the situation you're in. If you're a team that somehow desperately, if you're Indianapolis, for example, and Philip Rivers retires, Mr. Trubisky by default is going to be one of the names you look at because you need someone under center because that team can actually win now with, less than competency at quarterback. We've seen that with Philip Rivers. He's not the Philip Rivers of old. The only thing that he's showing is he can still throw interceptions like he is Philip Rivers at 30. But no, I'm saying Chicago. It's going to be a tough game, but I think they pull it out. Chicago, and then give me the LA Rams. They're going to learn from their mistakes against the Jets. They're going to be fine. The Cardinals, unfortunately, and mind you, this is a battle. It's going to be a battle of backup quarterbacks potentially with the Cardinals and the Rams. Like these are a battle of XFL, AAF quarterbacks. We're finally going to see all that hype from the XFL and the AAF like culminate in this wonderful Week 17 matchup. I cannot wait for that. But I do got the Rams going over, so it's gonna be Tampa Bay, Chicago, and LA. Not in that order, but that's who gets in for me.
Yeah, I have to. Sorry, Real Take Nation. I have to amend it because if the Rams win, then the Bears make it in, regardless of what happens, because the Cardinals will be 8-8 and they don't have the tiebreaker. So pretty much everything depends on that Rams-Cardinals game. Because if the Cardinals win, then they're 9-7. They have the head-to-head against the Rams. Then they're the 2. The Rams or the Bears are the 3. So it's a whole mess. It's a whole mess.
And we're saying Rams,
season.
Bears. Rams, Bears. No Cardinals.
Yeah, if the Rams win, then it'll probably be Rams Bears. But if the Cardinals lose, they're out. If the Cardinals lose, they're out. Am I
Yep.
do I get that right?
I'm saying they're not getting there. They're not getting to that point.
Okay. So you're saying
They're
the Bears
losing.
are gonna win.
Yeah, they're losing.
Bet. Okay.
Fuck that.
I don't think the Bears are gonna win, but I think you're gonna see an 8-8 team as that 3 spot, which I guess would be the Bears if the Cardinals lose.
One thing I know for
All right,
sure.
any
One thing
final
I
thoughts on the
know.
NFL?
One thing I know for sure. The Jaguars have the number 1 pick, and that pisses me off immensely. But go ahead.
Hey, at least you're not a Jets
Anything
fan.
else?
Before we move to the NFC East, which is his own animal. All right, let's go to the NFC East. Right now, in that spot, the Washington football team at 6-9. If they win, let's keep in mind that 7-9 is not unheard of. So let's give Washington its props for coming back. from a
No,
rough
let's
start.
not give any of these teams
No.
any props. No, I refuse.
Give Washington his props. Look, I'm a Giants fan. I hate that the Giants are probably not going to win this division, but I'm going to give Washington their prop for a moment because they came in with a murky quarterback situation, a head coach with cancer, and a team that was picked, it wasn't just me. I picked them to be bad. But
I
all
picked
of
them
us
go
picked them to be
winless.
bad.
I picked them go winless. I still don't think
Yeah,
6 and
said
10,
we'll
6-10, 7-9 is going to be anything to commend. All right, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
but that's
I'm sorry.
something
No.
to commend, that we thought that they were going to win 0, 1,
Well,
2.
here's the thing. I did not. And I'll be honest with you. The reason that I picked them to go that is because I thought they were going to be inept, and I thought they were going to be doing what the Washington franchise has done for the past 20 years, which is do the exact opposite of what they're supposed to do. When they put in Alex Smith, I was like, oh, okay. I guess Ron Rivera knows what he's doing, and he's been given the power by Dan Snyder to do what he needs to do, which is something that a head coach under Dan Snyder has usually not had. And because that's what I would have done. I would have started Alex Smith from the beginning. I would have, had him in there, built that chemistry, and throughout the season, they probably could have gone 8-8. They probably could have gone 9-7, 10-6. All right, yeah. They also had some people. Come on, Terry McLaurin, he came on. The running back Gibson came on. They have some people they have some playmakers on offense that we didn't know about coming into the game. So that's the reason I picked them. I thought Dwayne Haskins, who I think is just not a good quarterback. I've always thought of that of him. He's and I'm not saying he's not a quarterback. No, it's not one of those things. He's not a good quarterback. Like, he's a quarterback, but kind of like Blake Bortles, not a good quarterback, right? So, but they benched Dwayne Haskins. Obviously, he's gone from the team. So I could see them winning. Again, they have to play the Philadelphia Eagles with Ryan, my boy Ryan Rutledge's man at under center at Jalen Hurts. So it's gonna be an interesting matchup. That's gonna be an interesting matchup. But yeah,
you mentioned Bortles. He's starting for the Rams, isn't he?
No. He just got signed off Denver's practice squad. He's gonna probably be the backup.
Okay, they're starting the practice squad, dude.
No, they're starting their actual backup. I forgot his name, but he's played in the AAF. Yeah, he played in the AAF. He did very well in the AAF, or pretty well in the AAF.
Is it Heinsohn? Is that his name?
I don't
I'm
know.
gonna look this shit up real quick.
Look it up. But yeah. So let's actually look at the NFC East, because this is a mess. All right, we got 6-9 Washington, 6-9 Cowboys. It's 5-10 New York. Guys, there's a scenario here. There's a scenario here where Washington loses, and it's a very realistic scenario. Washington loses, Cowboys lose, and like Giants beat the Cowboys. Giants beat the Cowboys. Washington loses. Giants are in at 6-10, and they're not just into the playoffs. They're not just in the playoffs. They are hosting a playoff game as the 4 seed. Potentially, if a team loses down the stretch, potentially they could host another one. But like, it's weird. It is weird. A 6-10 team, realistically, this is like not like, oh, outside chance, right? They could be hosting a damn playoff game.
Yes, sir. Yes,
all right,
sir,
and as a Giants fan,
New York football
as a
Giants.
Giants fan, are you proud of this? Are you proud of potentially being 6-10 and hosting a playoff game?
Honestly, I have no idea what to make of it because I came into the season expecting to watch zero football. I basically came into the season and thought, wow, the Giants are going to be terrible. What's the point?
Well, I mean, you were right. You were 100% right on that. They are terrible.
I was not expecting, the wheels to fall off on the Cowboys and the Eagles and for them to just bottom out as early as they did and the Giants to be in it at the end of the year. Like, I was not expecting that. So, honestly, I'd be pretty cool with them hosting a playoff game. I'd be pretty cool with them getting the, 10th or whatever pick if they lost and, ended up 5-11. I'm pretty cool with either. It'd be nice to see some Giants playoff football for the first time in a while.
But is this the way you want to see it? Is this really the way you want to see it? You guys have a chance at getting a top 10 pick. You guys have a chance. How mad would you be? Your team fucks around, right? You guys fuck around, win this game. Washington gets blown out, and you guys are in the playoffs. You're one and done. Like, you're telling me you're going to be happy with that? You're telling me you wouldn't rather have a pick, a top 10 pick, probably build up that offensive line, maybe draft another quarterback in Trey Lance or one of those guys who might replace Daniel Jones. Okay, I'm sorry. I know that's a sensitive subject. Johnny is the biggest Daniel Jones apologist in the world, right? So I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but
proudly.
But no, in all seriousness,
the way I see it is this. The way I see it is I don't really, all of that's kind of ancillary because of the draft. There's no guarantees. You're picking 10 or you're picking 21st. Like, you can still get a good player. The Giants generally still want non-skill positions. The Giants are looking at defense. They're looking at D-line. They're looking at linebacker. They got a few good young corners, a few good young safeties. Still looking at offensive line. You can make those upgrades at receiver late in the first round too, but you want to pick up some nice guys in the second, third, fourth round. So I'm not so worried about draft position. My concern is that a playoff spot would assure Dave Gettleman keeps his job, and that I can't have. Dave
it might
Gettleman
happen. It may very well could happen.
Under Jerry Reese, the Giants had 3 seasons of 10 or more losses. Under Dave Gettleman, the Giants have 3 seasons of 10 or more losses. Jerry Reese was here for a decade. And Dave Gettleman's been here for 3 years. And we've gone nowhere but backwards. You got Odell Beckham crying to the media about how Dave Gettleman broke his heart when the Giants traded his ass to Cleveland. You got just atrocious performances year after year. You got head coaches that were a disaster for this team. We didn't have a podcast when Dave Gettleman got hired, but I told everyone I knew that it was going to be a disaster, and it turned out to be a disaster. And it just needs to be done. It needs to be done. The Dave Gettleman experiment is over in New York. It has to be over in New York, regardless of whether or not Joe Judge drags this team ass backwards into the playoffs.
Yeah, good luck with that. I think you guys are probably going to keep Gettleman after the season, unfortunately. I'm sorry. But, yeah, this is a shit show. This division is the very definition of a shit show. Like, just look at those records, guys. Just look at those records. One of those teams is not only going to host a playoff game, but history tells us that one of those teams is probably going to win a playoff game because Panthers went 7-8-1 a few years ago, won their division, hosted a playoff game, and they won. Whoever has their sound on, please turn that off. The Seahawks did the same thing back in 2010. Remember the Beastquake game? But I don't know if the Giants really have anyone there who could replicate the Beastquake game. Daniel Jones
Pro
probably
Bowler
running.
Evan Ingram, baby. Pro Bowler Evan Ingram.
It really is a small victories for you, isn't it?
I
But
don't
no,
even know, man. He's like a terrible tight end. I don't even know how the hell
he's
he made it.
he's like
Over
my
the
go.
Packers, dude.
He's my go-to like tight end whenever I like my tight end gets injured in fantasy. Like he's the one I go to. 'Cause I'm like he's probably gonna get a few. He's gonna get a few touches, guaranteed. I'll
I'm
get those
just saying, he's
PPR
got
points.
more drops. He's got 10 drops in the season. Like it's no good. Like I love Evan Ingram. I've loved him since they drafted him. He's long, lanky. I think he's like 6'7". Like he's long, lanky. He runs like a 4.5, 40. Like he's a ridiculous athlete. But the man's got bricks for hands. The man's catching footballs like this. You can't do that. It don't work. It's not gonna happen. So I forget who the Packers, the tight end's name is, but he's got more touchdowns than Ingram has drops, So I don't even want to hear it about Evan Ingram. I don't know how that happened. I don't know what football that the NFL coaches and front office members are watching, because it's not the same games that I'm watching.
You know what's funny?
Anyway.
You know what's funny? Odds are Dave Gettleman's probably gonna, even if he gets fired by New York, he's gonna get another job somewhere. Because that's just how
He's a
NFL
white man.
GMs work. Yep. Is how it be, bro.
It's a
That's
white
how
man
it
that
is.
loves hard-nosed football.
All right, anything else we would like to add here?
Simon, who do you got
I'm
winning?
good.
Who do you got winning, Simon?
Not the damn Redskins. Any team but the Redskins.
The Washington football team.
Get it right.
Next year they'll be the Washington
Any
Football
team
Club.
but the Redskins. But I honestly, like I said earlier, I'm going to say it again. I think the Cowboys. Like, I really think
I'm going to be
the
so
Cowboys.
mad. If the Cowboys
I mean,
get
to
in,
put it like this, they've struggled
man.
enough this year. The fact that they're even here is kind of crazy.
facts.
Yeah, no, that's true. They
That's,
clawed their way back.
Why
did
wouldn't
it
they
in
be
complete
here? Why doesn't
obscurity.
the Cowboys deserve to go on after having probably the roughest season in NFL history?
Oh, I don't
they're
know
an
about
accident
that.
waiting to happen,
I don't know
that's
about
why.
that. The roughest season in NFL history is like a stretch for them. I don't know if
COVID, you lose your star quarterback, your team sucks, your division sucks, you can't seem to pull yourself out of division, finally pull yourself out of division, and then you lose? You did all that for what? All
For a
what?
nice 6-10 record.
No. You
Sounds
can't
intended.
stand these there's nobody in the stands really watching these damn games like that. So they got to do it for themselves. America's football team. I, Simon, challenge you guys to fucking win. Go out there and win.
Word.
For the rest of America, please lose.
Yeah, I got the Washington football team winning. By the way, I got the Washington
I
football team
double
winning.
dog dare you to win.
All right. We ready to move on to the NBA?
But hold on, before we go to that, make sure you hit the like button and show love. Subscribe. If you haven't already, consider supporting us a little. Throw $2, man. $2. I'll match.
$2.
For every
Toss us
$2 we get,
$3.50.
I'll match. Come on,
Patreon-
let's see it. Come on,
Patreon-
people. Let's see it.
Patreon.com/Real Take Sports. Again,
Patreon.com.
Patreon.com/Real Take Sports. In the description as well. Hit those links. Johnny, as you were.
All right. Let's go to the NBA. We got a lot of storylines, a couple big blowout losses for the Clippers, Bucks, Heat, Warriors, a couple slow starts for the Nuggets, Raptors. We got the Suns and Kings, some bottom feeders starting strong, the Knicks, Magic, Cavs, Hawks, all in that list. Guys, what's the most intriguing storyline from the beginning of this NBA season? We'll go to Trenzy first.
There's a lot of really good ones. My personal storyline that I've been watching is, have you guys seen not only the Lakers, but that boy Dennis Schroeder? Underrated guard, been underrated for a long time. You finally put him on a team with some common sense, and he looks so happy out there. When's the last time Dennis Schroeder was actually happy about a situation he was in?
Probably not when he was getting blocked by his own haircut.
Or his hairline was messed up. Yeah, Dennis
that
Schroeder.
shit
But
has-
that's my
that shit
biggest
has me
story
fucked
for the
up.
year. In terms of rookie year, I mean, I love LaMelo Ball. I love him So much. That's like my second favorite player besides D'Angelo Russell. But what the fuck, bro? What do you mean? All you do is play basketball. That's all you've been doing like the last 3 years of your life. I need you to not. You had a game where you missed everything. You didn't make a shot. You didn't score a point. But you're the number 3 draft pick. Dude, I could have done that. 5'7". Not put some damn points on the board. Jeez.
He was out there running. Pulling the Tony Snell.
Tony
That
Snell
shit
is
had me
probably the
dying.
ugliest NBA player that ever lived. I'm just going to like put that on record. I think he's the ugliest NBA player who ever lived. Actually, maybe we can pull up a graphic. I think if you look up ugliest NBA player, Tony Snell pops up. Actually,
They might get Trae Young or Chris
I don't-
Middleton's teeth.
I don't know, bro. Have you ever just looked at Greg Oden? You're just taking a look at Greg Oden's face.
Greg
But his
Oden
face
looks like
is
someone's
ugly,
fat
so
ass
he-
uncle at a cookout.
I'm hip. He looked like that at like 24, bro. He looked like that at 24.
You got the balding and everything.
Bro, NBA was rough to my man Greg Oden. Big shout out to Greg Oden, by the way. We love you
We
here.
love
Real
you,
Take
bro.
Sports Talk.
We love you, Greg. You just look like my uncle, man.
I think my most interesting storyline's got to be Brick City. You know, we got Brick City, bitch. We got the Warriors just can't buy a shot. They're 2-2. They got bailed out by Steph and Damian. What's his name? Damian Jones. I ain't never heard of this dude, but they got bailed
There's a
out
lot
by
of
a last
no-names on
second.
the team.
It's brutal. It's a brutal look for them, and I just. You know, Steph and Wiseman are the future, obviously, but Steph's already into his 30s. It's not like they got another 10 years to get Wiseman up to 29. You know, like this man's 19 and he's got to be a man. He's got to contribute, you know, like he's younger than all of us. And he's got to be out there contributing. You know, it's going to be a tough year at Warriors land. I know a lot of people picked them to make the playoffs. I just don't see it. The West is too competitive, and you know, they're 2-2 now, but as the season goes on and the records start to normalize a little bit and people play to their expectations, you're just going to see the Warriors drop out. Are they better than the Pelicans? You know, Ja Morant's out 3 to 5 weeks, but are they better than the Grizzlies? You know, like, are they better than some of these teams that are going to be 7 to 11 range? Like, are they better than the Spurs? I don't know. Like,
No, they're not.
No.
They're not.
they're not.
They're not, and it's not because they might actually be not, but they might actually not really be good enough, and it's too early. I mean, the season's coming from different special circumstances. We're talking about like this Warrior team is the same team that just drafted some 19-year-old kid named James Wiseman, and has Kelly Oubre, who like on the Wizards. I live in DC, mind you. I live in DC. Was on the news of like the last like 100 threes he took, he'd only made like 17% at one point. So we're talking about put a guy on a team that's built to shoot, and you have a guy he's a career 32.4%, I think, something like 32K today. I saw this. I swear, I don't look up Kelly Oubre, but I mean, last game he went 0 for 11. He's on a team in which he can't shoot. He's not a shooter. He's a dunker. This is the guy we're talking about who's dunking on KD. He was on that Suns team. He was the energizer of the Suns team. And then you pair him up with Wiggins, who really just shouldn't have a career. He's actually trash. Wiggins actually pisses me off. Andrew Wiggins, the name. You know what, Andrew Wiggins? Fight me. Because you're trash. This is a guy when he was on my Timberwolves was putting up 19 shots a game to average 20 points. They give him a max. They give him a very friendly, you know, contract, and then he takes that. How do you get worse?
Hey, I mean,
he got lazy, man. He got lazy.
How do you get worse? No,
On the
because
bright
you've
side.
always been some shit. That's the thing.
on
He's
the bright
always
side,
been trash. What did he go?
he's
2
the
for 10
one
last
mistake.
game?
He's the one
3?
mistake that the Cavs never made. And I can always take solace in that. He's the one mistake that the Cavs never allowed to materialize. And this is coming up.
LeBron took one look at him.
Okay.
LeBron
Quick
knew.
question. Would you
LeBron
rather
knew the
have
second he came
Wiggins
back.
on the Cavs? What?
LeBron knew when he came back.
LeBron
Andrew Wiggins
knew.
wasn't
He
gonna be
took
shit.
one look
He
at him.
knew.
Was
Oh
like,
yeah,
get
that's
this
why he
dude
traded him
off
for
my
Kevin
team.
Love. But the Timberwolves
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
know. The Timberwolves didn't know.
And
But
then they traded away the
my
best
thing is-
player they had since KG for Andrew fucking Wiggins. Like,
Would you rather have Andrew Wiggins with his contract and everything now,
no,
or
no.
would you rather have Anthony Bennett's trashy number 1 pick, worst number 1 pick ever?
Okay, that's the one situation where as someone who knows exactly what that means, yes. I would rather have Andrew Wiggins' trash contract and his trash player. At least he'll be on the court. At least he'll make the team. Anthony Bennett was so bad for the Cavs.
But he'll phase out in like 2
No,
years,
Anthony
2-3
Bennett-
years.
Son, Anthony Bennett was so bad on the Cavs that a year later he didn't make the team. As a number 1 pick, he was not good enough to make the team. We sent him down to the G League because he was trash. That dude had no business being in the NBA. I'm sorry, Anthony Bennett. You're probably watching this because you have nothing better to do because you don't really have a career. You're watching our 3 losers talking about sports. But
Hey.
I'm telling you.
2.5 losers.
Damn straight.
That's a podcast name right there. 2.5 losers.
Ooh.
In all seriousness, put that in the pocket. In all seriousness, no, Anthony Bennett was trash. I'm so glad he's not he wasn't with our organization for more than 2 years. I think we gave you guys Anthony Bennett in that trade. Son, we gave you guys Anthony Bennett in that trade.
Hey!
We gave the Timberwolves Anthony Bennett in that trade. You guys traded Kevin Love for Andrew Wiggins and Anthony Bennett.
And didn't keep either.
I'm
Now,
just
mind
gonna-
you, I'm a D-Lo first. But that broke my heart.
Mm.
That
But
broke
yeah.
my heart.
My biggest thing, though, the Cavs starting 3-1. That's my biggest disappointment of this season. I want this team to have as much of a chance to go winless. I don't want any hope. I want 0 hope. I don't even want a reason to watch the Cavs this year because I want that team to be so bad that they have the most chance to get that number 1 pick. I don't.
Oh,
care.
you're a terrible
I don't
fan.
care. I'm not. I'm a terrible fan. I was there. No. Don't call me a fucking
Boo.
terrible fan. Don't call me a fucking terrible fan. Don't you dare do that shit. I was
You know
there
the
when
record.
LeBron left. I
You
stayed
know the
when
record.
LeBron left. I 3-1. I'm hip. I'll get to that in a second.
You know who's getting the number
one?
1 pick this year? Okay, that's great. But you know who's really getting the number 1 pick
Who?
this year?
Who?
The Detroit Pistons. The Pistons.
Like shit
The
they
Pistons.
are. No. I won't allow
Yep.
that. I will,
The Pistons.
bro, son.
Pistons.
On some Trump shit, I will steal
The Thunder.
that fucking lottery. On some Trump shit, I will call fake news. I don't care. Like the Cavs are getting that number 1 pick. I need Cade
Bro,
Cunningham.
the Cavs are a
I
sneaky
need
playoff
Cade-
choice.
No,
The
No.
Cavs are a
No,
sneaky
they
playoff
shouldn't be.
team.
They're a
You're
sneaky
playing with my
playoff
man.
choice.
Omer,
I'll
Omer,
pay-
you stop it.
I'll
You
pay
stop it
Andrew-
right now. You
I'll-
stop playing with
Why?
my boy.
I'll
Why
pay
are you hating on
Drummond.
Sexland, bro?
I'll pay-
Don't hate on
You stop
Sexland.
playing with my
I'll pay
boy.
Drummond. I will pay Drummond the $20
You
million.
better pay that boy.
to just sit on the couch, not get
Nope.
rebounds. No, I don't want that. His
He's a
15
gunner.
rebounds. That's too much
The
productivity.
gunner.
I don't want
Nope.
Jetty Osman. I love Jetty. Jetty, if you're watching this, love your dog. Big shout out to my boys in
Nope.
Turkey. But
Nope.
son, you gotta go.
Nope.
You gotta go. Get yourself out of here. Go to LA. Go with Bron. Bron loves you. Go with Bron. No. Kevin Love he's the only one on our team who understands what losing is. He's the only one on our team who understands what losing means for him, this franchise, and his career. He's the only one on our team who gets it. He's not playing. He said, "Fuck it, I'm out. My arm, I'm injured. Ow." Kevin Love has done more in the past 3 years for our franchise since LeBron. I'm telling no one has been more for the
Better,
tank
y'all would have been
than
able to
Kevin
trade
Love.
him.
Yeah.
I don't
If
wanna trade
he was a little bit
No.
better, if he was
I
Minnesota,
don't
Kevin Love.
No, I don't want to. His
Nope.
contract's up in
Nope.
2 years. No,
So
it's
for
fine.
that,
wild
Omer,
then.
you guys
It's
will
fine.
sneak
Bill.
in as the 7th
Wild
seed
then.
and stop playing
Bill.
with my boy, Young Bull.
Yo,
I've been watching
that
school since high school.
Sexland.
If there's
Keep
anybody
Sexton.
on that team that is that is built for a season like this, it's him. Did you see him at
27
Alabama?
points per game.
3v5.
Points per
That
game.
boy.
I'm aware. I'm saying, look, Colin Sexton can stay.
That boy
I
is
fuck with
amazing.
Colin Sexton. He's like the one thing I can tout about that team. But what I'm saying is, don't give him any help.
He's not going like that this
No,
year.
don't give him any
He's not
help.
going.
One, he doesn't need it. Two, I don't
Darius
want him
Garland.
to have any help. Boy, don't you
Yes.
go with Darius Garland
Don't-
bullshit.
No,
DG.
Darius Garland's good. So let me.
DG got a burner on him.
I'm gonna pull up his stats. Let me pull up his
I'm
stats for
actually
you.
gonna do a quick shout out to Andrew.
Garland. We never should have drafted him in
Andrew.
the first place.
Andrew was the one who put me onto Darius Garland.
18, y'all
I'ma make that
listening?
shout out.
18 and a half points per game, 4 rebounds a game, 7.8 assists per game,
Jesus.
48% overall, 45 and a half from three. This man has not missed a free throw yet this season. 56.7% field goal percentage.
Everyone's like,
He's
oh,
played
yeah,
more games than he did last year,
4
getting injured and
games.
shit. He played more games already.
Chill, Mo. Chill. 4 games.
He's played more games
I'm
now.
not saying he's going to be an
games,
all-star or nothing, but the kid looks
I'm just
good.
saying,
The kid looks good.
player comparison.
I'm here for
think
second
he-
plan.
He,
I'm
he
here
reminds
for
me of a young. He reminds me of a young Dennis Schroeder on that Hawks team, that 62-win Hawks team. He reminds
4
me
games
of
in.
that guy.
For 4 games.
I need Tony Reale. I gotta hit you with the mute button over for this shit ass take of the Cavs. They're a sneaky playoff team.
Dude,
My Knicks
I don't
beat them
want-
they're a
anyway,
sneaky
though.
playoff team.
Fuck that.
What do you guys think about the Knicks?
Let's go Knicks. I got a whole Knicks thing, man. I mean, we're missing
don't
Obi
think about the
Toppin right
Knicks.
now. We're missing Obi Toppin right now. You know, it's a tough loss for us. We need Obi Toppin, but at the end of the day, this Knicks team is solid. Like, they're not good. I don't think that they're gonna sneak into the playoffs, but this Knicks team is solid. If Julius Randle is gonna play decent, if Mitch Robinson is gonna stay on the court, if he's off the court fouling, smacking people around, 6 fouls in 2 quarters, then they're not going nowhere. But if he's a decent rim protector and they have enough offense, RJ Barrett's going to be an all-star this season. Book it. Okay? I'm telling you right now, RJ Barrett's an Eastern Conference star. So just watch. And the Knicks might be halfway decent this year. All y'all haters who are coming out here for it, we're not here for it. We're not listening. New York on the rise. Let's go.
All righty, Omer, your biggest surprise, and what do you feel about the Knicks?
Fuck the Knicks. I don't care. I don't feel about the Knicks. I don't give a shit about the Knicks. I get enough in the group chats from these two about the Knicks. I don't give a shit. Look, my biggest surprise would probably actually no, that's not even a surprise. I was gonna say the Clippers being as bad as they are, but that's not really a surprise. The Clippers. Oh
No, low key, my biggest surprise isn't Orlando 4-0?
yeah.
Yeah. That's my biggest surprise, considering you got to take a look at what they have. They have a couple players out there. Well, they have one player in particular. Their starting point guard out there to prove himself, and our very own DMV's Markelle Fultz. How do you feel about him this year? What do you think he's looking like this year? Any good? Any potential? Or cut him?
A lot of potential. Look, Markelle Fultz is always going to be one of those guys who has potential. At this point, though, I mean, this is honestly his last chance to really prove himself, though. At least in my opinion, to really prove himself. Not only
In what way? Because he's a rotation player at least.
Well, that's what I'm. No, I'm saying this is his last year to prove himself as someone who can come in and contribute on a playoff team, like as a I would say
As a starter?
sixth man, as a starter or sixth man. I don't think he's
Okay.
like at best. I think in my prediction, my prediction would probably be at best he's a solid role player, which is good. Yeah,
But we're talking about the guy who was the number 1 pick, and
No,
before
he's not
that
that
motorcycle accident, which it wasn't. It was the motorcycle accident.
Yeah, but regardless, motorcycle accident aside, if Greg Oden didn't have all those knee injuries, he probably would have been great. If Brandon Roy didn't have all his knee injuries, he probably would have been one of the best players in the league still right now. So we can say all this what ifs, but we have to look at the reality. Reality is he just hasn't proven that he's lived up to that number 1 pick. He's not going to at this point in his career. He's not. I'm sorry, but can he be a starter still? Is that potential still there? I think so, but I think his window is closing right now. His window of opportunity at this point is closing right now. So if you're Markelle Fultz, and this is your last chance to really prove yourself as an NBA starter and really get some minutes. Like he needs to be able to like prove himself to get enough minutes to be a starter. You need to come out of the gates and you need to go like you need to lead this team. You don't need to just Markelle Fultz doesn't need to just prove that he can, contribute. He needs to do that obviously, but he also needs to prove that he can help lead. And if he can't help lead, then his contributions become even less because we're not really seeing him even be at the level of a starter at this point.
Yeah, so just briefly for his 4-game stats this year for the undefeated Orlando Magic, we got 18 points per game, 4-0. 18 points per game, 5.8 assists, 43% from the field, 30% from 3, 93% from the line. So some solid numbers. His career 27% 3-point shooter. Yikes. So that's not gonna get it done. That's not gonna get it done. You can't. Yeah. That's Michael Carter Williams numbers.
Oh.
Which is his backup. Interesting.
Allow me to stream. I think we just reached that cap.
All right, so we're cutting.
I mean, no, we already cut. Our stream ended.
Oh,
in the middle of your.
LOL.
So.
All right. Okay. Well, do we want to finish?